I want to take a moment and talk about something that is very near and dear to me. And that's the importance of God, Family, and Guns, this channel specifically, and what it is doing in the world. Because in the very beginning of this channel, I made a commitment with God to make it about Him. And I don't know why He did what He did with this channel, but He has always been in charge of the channel from the very beginning. I didn't know what to do. I just knew He was going to be in charge. So I started taking prayer requests. And what it has become is a beacon of truth. It is a beacon of truth because there is this constant state of speaking truth of the Word of God. Because, you know what, there's a lot of things you might not agree with. But if it's in the Word of God, it really doesn't matter whether you agree with it or not, or whether you even like it or not. It's still the truth. There's some things in the Word of God that I might not necessarily agree with or like. It still doesn't matter. It's still true. And speaking truth is something that we're not seeing a lot of in this world. There's not a lot of truth speaking going on in the world right now when it comes to the Word of God. It just simply isn't happening. And, you know, a lot of people are just saying what they think people want to hear, or they're speaking some truths or some half-truths, or they're just touching on the truth. But the problem with speaking the truth is that oftentimes the truth offends people. People don't like the truth a lot. People don't like the truth a lot. And trying to speak the truth in the Word of God without divisiveness, with love, is really a hard thing to do. And I believe that God, Family, and Guns and this channel has completely done that. I think that regardless of whether you love or hate about this channel, I guarantee you're not going to say it's dividing people. And I guarantee you're going to say that it's approached with love. Those two things. Because the truth hurts, but speaking the truth is love. You know, I'm not saying this channel is a lovey-dovey thing, but what I'm saying is when somebody speaks the truth into you, that is a loving thing, because oftentimes I know speaking the truth is going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But it has to be done. Somebody has to do it. And there is not a lot of people speaking the truth in the Word of God. But in addition to that, there's no sexuality. There's no cursing. It's very family friendly. There's zero tolerance for racism or hate. And in the end, God's always in charge. You know, something I'm going to tell you about my relationship with God is I know Him. He is my Father, and I am about my Father's business. And His business through me is to speak His Word of God through truth. And you know what? As we enter into this new season, the truth needs to be heard more and more, and you're going to hear less and less of the truth. And you already see that. You already know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You already know you're seeing less and less of truth in the world, probably than ever before. And that's what happens when the son of perdition begins to reign in the world. So I believe this channel is extremely important. You know, what I'm going to say here now is don't tithe to this channel. Send your tithe to feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, taking care of the widows and the orphans, and visiting the prisoners and the sick. Find ministries that is doing that thing. Find ministries that is doing that thing. Any sort of tithe, you know, go back to Malachi 3:10. He says tithe so there is food in my house. So send your tithes and offerings to viable ministries that are legit doing that. Or you use your finances to do that, or your whatever it is that you're deciding to give to God. But if you do want to support this channel outside of a tithe, I believe it's a very important thing. I believe that there is not a lot of going on in this world that is speaking the truth. More than anything, just spread the word. Like, it seems like the beacon of truth should be louder and louder as the lies get louder and louder. The lies are getting louder. They're getting louder and louder, and the truth has to get louder. It has to get louder. So if you feel called to support this channel through Patreon, click the link below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests. Never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.